I will making the district and state indie speech locker posters to Jasmine Edwards.
I, Natalie Kroll, will my streak of stage kisses in every show to McKenna Pierce.
I am going to be willing down a record to Sean Connor so then he can carry on the tradition of our national anthem.
I will the slam poetry throne to Sam Jensen.
I, Caleb Cantrell, will Oliver and Travis the right to sadden Mrs. Cardell texts that say, "Will you play 8-ball?" Whenever they want. If they need her number, she texts me.
I, Natalie Kroll, will my organizational skills and obsession with Capri Sun juice pouches to Brianna Rose Holt.
I pass on, I see, to Charlie Steele.
I, Serenity Kolash, will the following. A riddle for the instigator of the game. May the receptacle that carries the traditions of past builders hold as much meaning for you as it has for Levi and myself. But to truly get the work done, you will have to locate the tool belt near the last thing you tore apart. Along with that, I hope you find some joy in the newly named Charlie drawer.
I, Natalie Kroll, will my pink trusty costume tape measure to JD Salton.
I will the trusty, dusty radio news box that always has lined paper in it to Sean Connor.
I, Vanessa Reardon, will the following. To Tatum Casey, soon to be a sophomore, the ability to keep all the paints organized and the ability to yell at anybody who doesn't clean their paintbrushes. It's your job now. Have fun.
I, Natalie Kroll, will my constant banter with Kyle Gokin to Charlie Steele and Bree Holt. We, the thespian officers of troop number 1763, through our mystical powers, are able to look ahead to the year 2040 to see what the current thespians of Spencer High School will be doing 20 years from now.
Addie Gilderhus is the Guinness World Record holder for the most Crocs owned. They are currently assessing the value of her collection.
Following in the legacy of LMU, Serenity Kolash has returned to SHS to take on the position of director, just to make sure that everybody upholds those traditions.
Natalie Kroll wrote, directed, and choreographed 9 the musical, whilst teaching people like me with 2 left feet how to not trip over themselves while doing a jazz square.
Charlie Steele has made millions repurposing old prop room treasures and old band instruments. Who knew there would be such a demand for old pianos converted into organizational storage?
Lucy Heeman, Sarah Elser, and Grace Katzer are now famous playwrights in New York because their original one-act shot into stardom after the performance at All-State Large Group Speech, with plenty of help from Mrs. Koenig, of course.
Shiley Arnold has now dedicated her life to watching Paw Patrol and drinking bug juice.
Ryan Bush made his Broadway debut as young Steve Deutsch in Steve Deutsch, the Musical.
Tobias Bozarth lost his job in an entirely new way, by giving it to someone else.
McKenna Richter is the new CEO of YOLO and has run the company bankrupt from buying too many Starbucks drinks.
Avery Kanak became a monk and has taken a vow of silence.
Sean Connor is a world-renowned juggler, as well as a known hamster farmer.
Megan Olson can be found playing We're All in This Together to the horses on her ranch that she now owns.
Ethan Hernandez still makes his stage combat look unbelievably real, and Alex Swanson can attest to this. For him, Mark is still left from a slap that occurred, and I never saw another butterfly.
Kale Peterson has lost all of her hair due to her twirling obsession. Zoe Carlson frequently donates her hair to Kale's cause.
Jorgen Rustad stars in her own fishing reality TV show entitled The Real Fish Lives of Jordan River.
McKenna Pierce has made her directing debut after she and Natalie Kroll finally finished Split the Musical, the story of Kyle's 9 personalities.
Sam Jensen becomes a police officer and has recently been promoted to Chief of Police. His partner does not appreciate his constant puns.
Since every animation is going live action, Mr. Schwark played the brave little toaster in the new live action reboot of, you'll never guess, The Brave Little Toaster.
Carly Izzard is still trying to convince Mrs. Cardell to select The Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed as the fall musical in her Instagram comments.
Kyle Gokin moved far away from the farm and single-handedly caused the great hairspray shortage of 2034. He now uses maple syrup as his hair product alternative.
Mariana Rosales, Mallory Graves, and Kayla Mole participate in community theater and are extremely hardworking and kind in all endeavors of their life.
Hannah G and Mrs. G are now a famous clarinet duo called the Treble G of Knighthood.
Jack Meyer, Lucas Keeler, and Ethan Johnson continue to travel the country, spreading the message of why Ryan Bush is a simp.
Austin Ryan got his 99th concussion from Black Friday shopping for grandpa sweaters.
Megan Shower now runs her very own appliance store called Showers.
Josie Thompson couldn't get rid of her habit of eavesdropping on co-workers by standing on the toilet in the girls' bathroom.
Mr. Halverson makes sure to point out when things are a bit excessive for physics.
Tasia Newcomer owns her very own dance studio in New York and has helped choreograph Steve Deutsch the musical.
Vanessa Reardon now resides in the Scottish Highlands and goes by the name Loch Nessa Monster.
Jasmine Edwards has released her own skincare line called Let's Get Sexy.
Connor Rezebek is the dramaturg for Steve Deutsch the musical and enjoys researching the life of Steve Deutsch in her free time.
Ben Kroll still uses football as an excuse for everything.
Caleb Cantrell is still trying to get Mrs. Cardell to play 8-ball with him. She still refuses to change her phone number.
After a lifetime of research, Andrew Bear has finally admitted that WD-40 is a lubricant.
Alex Swanson has given up and started going by Carl.
Bree Holt became a music teacher and keeps a pig in her music classroom as a class pet. It no longer fits in her car.
Mrs. Koenig has coffee with Mr. Unteed every Tuesday, and they are both enjoying their retirement to the fullest.
Will Crane has created his own country and has implemented this as a country's official greeting.
Oliver Morris McEwen is now a private detective, as well as a famous actor.
Kelly Keeler now gets calls from Lucas's boss because he frequently falls asleep during board meetings.
Janae Hassman is still the sweetest person you will ever meet.
Micah Benson still has a quiet demeanor, but has surprisingly become a famous stand-up comedian.
Gisela Meyer has finally changed her first name to Gisela after years of mispronunciation.
JD Salton has finally dyed her hair black so that I, Natalie Kroll, will call her Jade.
Adalis Garcia works under Sam Jensen, chief of police, and loves her job as a cop.
Otis Kirst is the popular content creator on the app TikTok. He is also known as Tallboy.
Ethan Johnson is now a critic for IGN. He recently reviewed Steve Deutsch the musical.
Ali Steele can still be found bossing Charlie around at the Steele family Thanksgivings.
Naima Garcia and Grace Katzer's cover of Into the Unknown has just reached 20 million views on YouTube.
Sarah Elser and Isabel Perez frequently host SNL.
Kayla Robinson plays in the pit for Steve Deutsch the musical and makes a large income off playing taps with Mr. Schwark for random events.
Lauren Baer has now been awarded the Nobel Prize in Mathematics.
Gracie Keith is still active in theater and continues to get kicked out of rehearsals for singing everyone else's part.
Tatum Casey is a talented SFX makeup artist and has just won the TV show Face Off.
Mr. Chapman loved his debut in Hunchback so much that he continues to participate in every musical performance at SHS, with his most recent role being Mama in Hairspray.
Molly Crew has become a rabbi.
Tatum Cattell now has the most known number of car crashes in the state of Iowa. She has started a GoFundMe to pay for her insurance.
Saul Christensen is now an expert circular saw operator, as taught by Serenity.
Jacelyn Rustad became a Broadway stage manager and is currently stage managing Steve Deutsch the musical.
Presley Gleim travels the world as a life coach in her van full of rabbits.
Lily Lindell, Olivia Rudin, and Caitlin Cavilla are still bright rays of sunshine among their community.
Jenna Mori can be found miming her conversations after long runs while she catches her breath.
Travis Crabb is the official water king for Steve Deutsch the musical.
Mrs. Pierce eventually went blind from the years of terrible piano lighting.
Kirsten Hogue joined the Peace Corps with nothing in her possession but a first aid kit and an extra pair of Birkenstocks.
Allison Nolan has completely embraced her persona of Raven.
Oliver Morris McEwen is now a private detective, as well as a famous actor.
Zoe Metcalf finally lost her American accent, so she felt the need to move to England.
AJ Zinn has now become a waltz instructor after falling in love with the dance through research in one act.
Devin Reese is a world-famous violinist.
Noah Gokin has sheep.
Mrs. Cardell is still investigating the culprit behind the hole in the wall.
Dalton Mills is still insisting, "The sky is falling! The sky is falling!"
Sophie Kruko still insists that Wicked is the best musical ever written.
Steve Deutsch the musical bombed its first week of performances and closed shortly after. However, it won a Tony for the least amount of notes used in a Broadway score.
Toby Moeller is still trying to get Ben Kroll to participate in theater.
This ends the official prophecy of the Thespians of Troupe number 1763 of 2019 to 2020.